The New York Times just did an AI deal with Amazon, and it is super important from an IP perspective. The New York Times has licensed its content to Alexa so that Alexa can now use New York Times content in providing answers to its users. Why is this important? Currently, the New York Times and dozens of other plaintiffs are in litigation against OpenAI, Meta, Google, and a whole bunch of other companies over training data. In those cases, the New York Times is arguing that it is copyright infringement to use its content as training data for LLMs. In defending these cases, the big tech companies are relying largely on a fair use defense. The most important factor that a court is going to look at in determining whether or not fair use applies is whether or not the use is taking a bite out of the market for the plaintiff in the case. So now, with the New York Times licensing its content to Amazon for use in Alexa, I think that these licensing deals are going to be very persuasive evidence for the plaintiffs in all of those training data cases to show the court that by allowing these companies to gobble up the training data for the LLMs, that actually is taking a bite out of the licensing market for these plaintiffs. The New York Times is going to be able to show as evidence that there is an active and emerging licensing market in the United States.